A wintry Friday night. A packed gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
From all across the state,
Rushville,
South Bend, Washington,
Lakeland High School,
Culver Academies, North Vermilion,
we represent 160,000 student athletes.
We are the voices
of 410 member school athletes.
The IHSA Student Advisory Committee is made up of 18 student athletes who organize the Student Leadership Conference and participate in state championship events as award presenters in many different roles.
We represent you.
We are the IHSAA Student Advisory Committee.
Pure spirit,
pure sport,
pure Indiana.
The Athletic Department wished to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of Union City Athletics. 3M Excavating, Botkin Trophies and Laser Engraving, the City of Union City, join the movement. Best Way Disposal, Cardinal Ethanol, Citizen State Bank, Double Z Home Improvement, Eco Vehicle Systems, Equus Consulting Group, Frank Miller Lumber Company, Hydrojet Signs Fabricating and Glass Components, Midwest Bankers Home Loan Expert, Derek Huntwork, Tree Hill Farms, real food made simple, Wiley Well Drilling, Woodcrest Lanes, the Smoke and Pin Barbecue, Didier Do-It-Best Home and Hardware, Kearns Brothers, the Union City Lions Club, Packasack, RL Painting and Manufacturing, Shuckney Electric Heating and Cooling. Now we take you to Union City Gymnasium courtside for tonight's broadcast.
Welcome to Union City Junior Senior High School for tonight's varsity matchup between the Hagerstown Lady Tigers and your Lady Indians. Union City, with the permission of our local health department, has established COVID protocols to allow spectators to attend our home events. To comply with the guidelines, we ask you wear a mask for the duration of the contest, social distance with immediate family only, and sit in the designated areas. Your efforts are helping us offer a safe environment for all in attendance. I would now like to bring your attention to Crystal Breen, a senior here at Union City. She has a special message for our fans and players.
Welcome to Union City Junior Senior High School. In the spirit of sportsmanship, we ask that all fans act responsibly and courteously to those around you. Abusive language or disorderly conduct is unacceptable and will not be welcome at IHSAA events. Please show the student, athletes, coaches, officials, and your fellow fans the respect they deserve. Your cooperation is appreciated. Please enjoy the game.
Now, if you would please rise and remove your hats, as our national anthem will be sung by Katie Elliott, a junior here at Union City.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that
Thank you. First, let's meet the visiting Tigers. Number 15, McKenna Matnich. Number 23, Hannah Ridge. Number 43, Marissa Slagle. Number 45, Delaney Olliger. And number 53, Heather Eels. Starting for the Tigers tonight, at forward, a 5'8" senior, number 21, Haley Rogers. At the other forward, a 5'10" senior, number 51, Ashlyn Olliger. At center, a 5'11" junior, number 55, Grace Klein. At one guard, a 5'5" senior, number 13, Michaela Matnich. And at the other guard, a 5'6" junior, number 31, Maddie Ward. The Tigers are coached by Chris Olliger. And now for your Lady Indians. First freshman, number 32, Cameron Fisher. Sophomore, number 10, Peyton Dye. Number 11, Emily Evans. And number 42, Grace Shoemaker. Your juniors, number 20, Katie Elliott. Number 34, Andrea Sanders. And senior, number 12, Crystal Breen. Starting for the Indians tonight, at one guard, a 5'4" junior, number 3, Carly Rissmiller. At forward, a 5'8" junior, number 4, Mariah Claywell. In the middle, a 6'2" junior, number 30, Emily Livingston. At one guard, a 5'6" junior, number 14, Skyly Lutz. And at the last guard, playing in her final home game, 5'7" senior, number 2, Jody Carpenter. The Indians are coached by Sarah Black, assisted by Neil Adams. At this time, I'd like to introduce our officials for Curtis Anderson and Robbie Miller. Athletic Director Mike Thornburg, Principal Neil Adams, and our coaches stand and support our officials. These individuals have committed their time to our student athletes, and we appreciate their efforts and sacrifices. Fans, if you feel the need to verbally express your displeasure with our officials, please note that your actions will be an absolute contradiction to the values and beliefs of Union City. Please join with me in applause for our game officials and their commitment to education-based athletics.
So there you have it. It all comes down to this, the end of the regular season for the Union City Lady Indians and the end of the era of Carpenter and Lutz as the tip-off is controlled by the Lady Indians. Right away, Skyly Lutz with the ball. I want to thank everybody for joining us in. Second game of a triple header. We got the boys next after this, but what an exciting game this hopes to be as Jody Carpenter looks to different kind of stats, but some say 2, some say 3. But I think she's going to have the single season assist record tonight if she has a great game, and she had 17 assists last night to break the single game record held by Justice Cantu. So going to be a bittersweet night for Jody Carpenter as we're all going to miss her next year, and it's got to be pretty emotional for Lutz and Carpenter on the floor right now tonight for the Lady Indians. And, of course, what can you say about Hallie Rogers, the phenomenal senior for the Hagerstown Tigers? A nice bounce pass into number 55. No good as Claywell clears the board. That was Grace Klein. And here comes the Lady Indians the other way. Carly Rissmiller, she's going to take a shot right away, and she nails it. So Rissmiller, known for her defense, starts off the Indians with the first bucket here. And she quickly picks up the ball by number 21, Rogers. Look at that matchup. She's going to pop it, and she nails it. Boy, that's going to be a tough assignment for whoever draws Rogers, and they got to make sure that Hagerstown's controlling that. And Carpenter goes in, no call. Looks like she got hit with the body, but the senior hits her first 2 bucket, and we're going to expect a fast pace between these two teams. Settle down now. Matanich. Hopefully I'm saying right. Claywell with almost a steal there. Nice steal by Lutz, but back into the hands of number 51, Oliger. She misses it. Here comes Claywell with another rebound. We're going the other way. Bounce pass to Carpenter. Carpenter dribbles inside. Out to Rissmiller. Claywell over to Lutz. Boy, quick ball movement. Lutz knifes her way in. She goes up, no good. Livingston right there with the rebound. She's fouled. She's going to go to the line shooting 2. So just like that, the Indians are asserting themselves. We talked about that triple threat of Claywell, Livingston, and Lutz. So that's got to be a headache for Coach Oliger, and he wants a timeout because I have a feeling he sees that the thoroughbreds that these Indians had, and he's going to realize that it's going to be a running night tonight, and I'm sure there's a little bit more adrenaline because this is the last regular season game for the Lady Indians in this pandemic and COVID era this year. I'm sure everybody's adrenaline's up, and certainly we want to keep an eye on Lutz and Carpenter in their last game of the regular season. And next Tuesday, weather permitting, we got a nasty one coming in, but I'm sure it'll be okay by that time. They're going to travel to Tri High School in Strawn, Indiana, Newcastle for the opening round of Sectional 56. And they drew Blue River, so that's going to be a tough assignment for the Lady Indians. But let's see if they can continue the momentum. They had a blowout of Centerville last night, and hopefully they can continue their ways here with the last of their Tri-Eastern Conference and be a fine tune-up in to go to that tournament next week. So Livingston will go line shooting she'll shoot 2. And Emily nails it. Good form. Nothing but net. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. And the next one goes up, in and out, no good. Nice block out by number 13, Matanich. Or Matnich. We'll try to do the best we can here. Oh, nice effort, but last touch by the Hagerstown Lady Tigers. So I want to thank everybody. Looks like we're on live stream, YouTube, Facebook, and cable TV. So we're bringing you on 4 platforms. We've done a little adjusting. I want to thank Phil Williams for doing a little fine-tuning of our equipment, and hopefully we'll be able to carry all 4 streams for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, if you're on Facebook, give us a shout-out and see where you're at. As Claywell turned around jumper, and I think they're going to give an assist to Carpenter for that. So she's dangerously close. We're 2, 3, or 4 assists. We're going to decide. I'm sure they're going to announce it in the game when she hits it. What a great career Carpenter's had. Hagerstown working the ball around. Oh, great open pass to number 51, Oliger, but no good. Here comes Lutz. She's going to drive quickly. Nice seal off there, and she's going to drive in. Oh, nice block by number 51, Oliger, but it ends up in Livingston's hands, but no good. Rogers clears away, and here comes the Lady Hagerstown Tigers. They can really slow it up a little bit. A couple times back up and down the court. That was a lot of running. Maddie Ward with the ball. Guarded by Carpenter. Matanich. Here's Rogers now. She's going to take another one just beyond the free throw line. Good form, but no way. Didn't go. Claywell with her 3rd rebound. Here comes Lutz. Out to Carpenter. Oh, Carpenter looked like she wanted to pass it right away. She saw Livingston coming down, and Carpenter just didn't secure the ball. That would have been a great bucket by Livingston because it looked like they had it there. And just a little too much for Carpenter to handle. It goes out of bounds. Turnover Indians. Going back the other way. I believe number 15, McKenna Matnich. I'll try to get that pronunciation, and we'll hear the PA announcer, or we'll get it corrected here for you. I do apologize if I'm fumbling a few names. Here's one from the top of the key by number 13, Michaela Matnich. No good, but Hagerstown with the rebound. Goes up again. No good. Livingston clears the board. Here comes Lutz. She got Carpenter on the right side. Rissmiller looking inside to post up. Good defense by number 51, Oliger, on Livingston. That's not going to be an easy task for that girl. Lutz on the deal, and she moves. She's fouled, and she'll go to the line shooting 2, and that's what Lutz done all season, has been able to split the defenders and get some chances at the free throw line. Lutz, the leading free throw shooter for the Indians at 74%, so she's the one you want on the line if you're the Indians. Lutz averaging 17 points a game among the conference leaders. We've talked about that all season as Lutz hits her first one. Number 45 checks in Delaney Oliger for Coach Oliger. Probably going to see Oliger a lot tonight. And we've mentioned Claywell, Lutz, and Livingston all in the top 10 in the Tri-Eastern Conference in scoring. And we're going to call a line violation going the other way. So 8-2 is your score. Union City has a 6-point lead as we're just underway. We got 4:05 left to go. And good sign there. We got Rissmiller, Lutz, Claywell, Livingston, and Carpenter in for your Indians. Sanders getting ready to check in for the first time for Coach Black. This is going to be a fast-paced back and forth. And wisely, Coach Black has defensive specialist Rissmiller all over Hallie Rogers. So, and Rissmiller, nothing she could do there. Carly tried everything she could get to put her hands up, but Matnich hits the bucket. But that's going to be a key matchup. Watching Rissmiller on Rogers as Carpenter shoots one underhand. 10-4. This is going back and forth pretty quick. I'm going to get tired. So let's see that matchup. Wisely, Rissmiller's going to shut down Rogers. That's the intent. Rissmiller did hit an opening bucket, but her job assignment now is going to shut down Rogers. So you're going to see a lot of just her back to the bucket. She's going to try to deny her as Rogers got the ball now. So let's see how long Carly can have the stamina. Stolen away by Carpenter. One-on-one, she's got it in by herself. Quick looks back and, misses the layup, but Claywell's right there to pick up the garbage. And Mariah picks up a bucket. That's Claywell's 4th or 5th rebound. And she has been a beast all year on the glass, has Claywell. We mentioned earlier, all-around player. She's probably an MVP candidate for the whole team because she's strong in all 4 categories of statistics in the basketball. Here's one from just inside the free throw line by number 31, Maddie Ward. 12-6, here comes the Indians. Rissmiller. Over to Carpenter. Carpenter quickly inside to Livingston. Livingston got a little push, but no call. Looks like the refs let him play on that one. And Lutz, and she's going to the line. And what a bucket by Skyly Lutz, and she's going to the line shooting 1. All season, Lutz has been contorting her body, trying to knife in and out and shooting off balance, and she sinks that one. Of course, as we mentioned, Lutz is playing in her last regular season game as an Indian on this court as Sanders checks in for Livingston. Rissmiller at the sideline getting advice from Coach Black, I'm sure, just telling her how to guard Rogers, because Rogers is 39% of the offense for Hagerstown. And Lutz missed her second one. Rebound, Maddie Ward, and we're going the other way. Marissa Slagle had checked in. Here's Rogers again. Right by Rissmiller. Got a step. Looks like Rogers might be a little quick and take a 3. No good. As Sanders goes to the floor and she's hit on the arm. And we're going the other way. Are they going to call that on 45? Let's see. 43. They're going to call that on Marissa Slagle. And Lutz will bring the ball past the timeline. And the Lady Indians will set up. Here's Carpenter. Out to Rissmiller. Rissmiller's going to take a 2. No good. She had a good look. Lutz, quick pass inside to Claywell. What a pass. And she got fouled on the arm. Mariah, I'm going to have to agree with you, young lady. No call. As we could hear that one clear up here. She was fouled by number 43, Marissa Slagle, but no call. And I agree with you, young lady. Rogers. Boy, she's going to draw a lot of attention. She's going to take a 3 here from the left side. Nothing but air. Didn't get anything. It's Claywell. Does a great job in bouncing off of number 31, Maddie Ward, and it's going to go to the Indians' way. So smart heads-up play by the junior. And we're going back the other way. Here's Carpenter. Sanders now, and she can hit a 3 from the perimeter. Here's Lutz. Try to get inside to Sanders. She wasn't looking. Lutz lost the handle on it. Here back the other way. Here comes Maddie Rogers, picked up by Carpenter. Nice outlet pass to number 45, Oliger. And boy, Lutz tried to get the block and altered the shot. Back the other way. Claywell with another rebound. And stolen away by Rogers, back away by Carpenter. Boy, this is fast pace. Here's Claywell from a shot. No good. Boy, if you're keeping track back and forth, this is a fast-paced game. We're under 46 seconds now, 14-6, an 8-point lead for the Indians as we're getting ready to wind the first quarter down. Slagle. Out to Matnich. And I'll get that corrected here at the, off the shin of Rogers as Rissmiller chases it down. No necessarily need to get it. And Rissmiller wisely bounces it off of Rogers' shin. Last touch by the Hagerstown Tigers. And Claywell comes to the bench, being replaced by Catherine Elliott. She checks in for the first time for Coach Black. And so does number 13, comes back in, Michaela Matnich for Coach Oliger. replacing number 31, Maddie Ward. Here's Livingston. Excuse me, check that. Carpenter into Lutz. Carpenter had Rissmiller. What a pass by Carpenter. Oh, no good, but Elliott's right there to pick up the garbage. No foul. As 43 must have got a good block Schlegel, but what a beautiful pass by Carpenter. That's been the frustration of Jody. She's just too good with the passes, and sometimes they're a little too much for these Lady Indians to handle. We're going to definitely miss that next year. Here's Lutz. Rissmiller now. Sanders at the top of the free throw line. They get down on her now. Elliott's flashing down in the paint, and Black's going to call out the play to Lutz. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Lutz is going to go in, and she goes, and there's no foul called, and it looks like Lutz might have got, make sure that young lady's okay. Looks like number 13, Matt Matanich, got hit in the face as Lutz was trying to drive here. So it is Matanich. I did check with one of the Hagerstown faithful behind me, so we'll make sure we get that right. But right at the end of the play, hopefully that young lady's okay. Number 13, Michaela Matanich, took a hard hit from Skylar Lutz driving, and they're taking a look at it. Looks like either her left eye or her forehead right up around the orbit bone, as she took a hard hit by Lutz driving to the lane. So they're checking her out. I think she looks like she'll be okay, so we'll see if she comes back in. She's being looked at by the coaching staff. And if you're over on the other side, Union City, what a fantastic opening quarter there. They were running back and forth, and this is going to be a shootout, I have a feeling. They're just going to go back and forth, back and forth. One key thing is Coach Black early on has got defensive specialist Carly Rissmiller on Hallie Rogers, and that's probably going to be her assignment all night. And that's great to see number 13, Michaela Matanich, coming back in. She still looks like, nope, she's going to come to the bench and maybe give her a little rest, but she's favoring that eye. And I'm sure she'll be okay. It looks like everything's okay as the Hagerstown Lady Tigers come back in to open up this second quarter, down by 8. Schlegel. We're inside to Ward. Nice spin around. Boy, good ball movement by the Tigers. Nice inside pass. Oh, what a play. Number 55, Grace Klein, received a pass, and she's going to be fouled by Livingston, but good look by the Hagerstown Tigers, and she'll go to the line shooting 2. I'm sure if that point comes where Jody Carpenter does eclipse Justice Cantu's seasonal assist record, I'm sure they'll announce that on the PA. There's been some discretion, 2, 3, or 4 assists. Max Prep says 4, Coach Black says 3, Mama Carpenter says 2. So we'll see who's accurate. I think Carpenter's already got 1 assist for the evening. Of course, coming off that 17-assist phenomenal night last night against Centerville. Klein's second shot, up and in. So 7-point lead as here comes Skylie Lutz. And the ladies, we got Claywell, Elliott, Livingston back in, and Carpenter. Nice bounce pass inside Claywell. She edges over in. That's what you need to see out of Livingston. She backs up Grace Klein, and Emily hits another bucket from inside. Matanich working it around. Number 31, Ward. We're looking inside. Claywell's drawing Rogers now that Rissmiller's out, so they got to keep an eye on Maddie Rogers. She's looking around the perimeter, but Claywell popped out on her very quickly. I think if you can shut her down, the Indians can start running away with a little bit, but that's the whole key, is to make sure they keep Rogers in check. And she's trying to take it out. And here's a deep 3 by number 15, Matanich, and she nails it. So McKenna Matanich, I'm going to say McKenna and Michaela are probably sisters, if I were to guess. As Skylar Lutz comes back down, both seniors, the Matanich girls. Claywell, nice pass into Elliott. Elliott's going to take one from about 10, no good. Claywell fights for the rebound, scrum, she's got it. Tries to get that back out to Lutz. Boy, though, looks like the refs are letting him play a little bit down there. Oh, nice little, whoa, elbow thrown. Elliott caught it by number 43, Schlegel. We don't want to get a little chippy here. I know this is kind of competition. It's a conference game. I don't know that there's any rivalry between Hagerstown. You're going to call that on number 2. That's going to be Carpenter. She's going to pick up her first foul. But these girls want the ball, and they're going to fight for it. So hopefully nobody's going to get hurt as Rogers goes to the line and she sinks her first one. 5-point game, turn it into 4. She can make it. And Carpenter comes to the bench, and Rissmiller comes back in for Coach Black, and she's being explained by the ref here what just transpired. And Rogers' second one, that's money there. 16-12, 4 points, and here comes Lutz. So Union City has had a habit of letting teams get back into it when they get a decent lead and try to add to it. So let's see if the ladies can recognize that and continue to pour it on these Tigers. Claywell at the top of the key. Over to Lutz. Again, Lutz, tried to get a little fancy, stolen away by Rogers. Great pick. Here comes Hallie the other way. Rissmiller picks up, blows right by Carly, and tries to get it, no good. Claywell with her 6th or 7th rebounds, got to be close to that. Here comes Claywell on the deal all the way. Oh, she just gets rejected a little bit by the side of the backboard. She let it go too early. I'll tell you what, back the other way. At some point in time, you got to slow down if you're these ladies, because they're just going back and forth at each other. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. It looks like we've been told we're on 4 platforms tonight. And what a great pass from Rogers to number 55, Klein. And Coach Black decides she wants a 30-second timeout as Hagerstown brings the lead to within 2. Or the lead to within 2. But as I mentioned, I want to thank everybody for watching out on Facebook World, YouTube World, live stream, and on Channel 5. You are watching the Union City Lady Indians season ender here on their home floor against the Tri-Eastern Conference foe, Hagerstown. It's been a great game so far, back and forth. As we call it, I've described these ladies as thoroughbreds. Coach Black has such a deep bench in their athletes. This is Jody Carpenter and Skylie Lutz. Even though she's a junior, she's essentially a senior, so she will be leaving this year, graduating as a junior. So I'm sure Lutz is going to leave a lot of potential records that she could break next year. But Skylie has decided to move on and graduate, and of course, we're going to wish that young lady well. We talked about this last night and all season, how strong of a bench and how deep a bench Coach Black has. And you got a great set of freshmen coming in that will be freshmen next year. So Union City continues to have a great system of development. Lost a hand on a great steal by number 55, Grace Klein, back the other way. I'm sure Mariah'd like to have that one back. Yeah, you can see the frustration. I tell you what, when she's mad now, she's going to start stealing these balls here pretty soon. I think you're going to get another gear shift into Mariah, and she's going to get a theft here. And they're going to call Klein for the backing in on Livingston. That's what they're going to call. Kind of hooked her around, and I'll tell you what, Gracie comes down with her hands up to Coach and like, are you serious? That's okay. So a good one there for the Indians. And she tried to hook Emily. I guess that's what that motion was by the ref. And Lutz here to Claywell. And got a whistle, so it'll still remain Indian ball. Livingston's going to take a shot just inside the free throw line. No good. Claywell with the board. She picks it up and puts it up and in. 18-14. Sanders comes off the bench. Carpenter's getting ready to check back in with the next whistle. Nice shot, but no good. And we're going back the other way. Livingston just too powerful down there. Double teamed, and she still comes away with a bucket. 20-14 as we're 4:30 left to go in this first half. It's been an exciting game so far, back and forth. Boy, Rissmiller, great job on Rogers, just trying to deny her the ball. Rogers takes a shot from the bucket. Rissmiller gets a hand up in her face, no good. Here comes Livingston Lutz the other way. Livingston with the rebound, over to Claywell. Back out to Lutz. Claywell, nice pass inside to Livingston. Livingston going to take a spin up, no foul called. Interesting. Looks like she got her a little bit on the arm, but there was no whistle. And Rogers, getting advice from Coach Oliger coming up the court. Boy, Carly keeping an eye on that basketball. As they work around, nice bounce pass in, but stolen away, intended for Klein, but Livingston up with it. Here comes Lutz on the deal to Claywell. Claywell stops, pops, bounces around, no good. Rebound Hagerstown, number 15, going the other way, McKenna Matinich. And looks like Hagerstown will slow it up, let these girls get a breath, that's for sure. I'm tired watching these girls going back and forth. Rogers, nice move to step back. Here's a three from Haley. She nails it, nothing but net. So Rogers wins that battle down the court against Rissmiller. It's a 3-point ball game, 20-17. Here come the Lady Indians past the timeline. Here's Lutz. She's going to handle most of the ball handling duties. When she's out, usually shifts to Rissmiller. But Lutz is going to be the captain of the team, working the ball around. With Klein and Livingston. Livingston spins off Klein. Boy, they get a quick pass in there. I think Livingston might have a little bit more quickness on Klein. So that's going to be a good matchup with both bigs. Here's Livingston again. Had Elliott open. Mariah's going to take one from the free-throw line, and she nails it. Claywell will make you pay when they drifted off of her, and she had an open shot, and she nails it, 22-17, 2:16 left to go in this first half. Claywell wisely backed off of that one. Could have easily been called a fouls. Nice give and go. Had number 45, the Roddy Oliger. They're passing so quick, it's hard to keep up with these ladies. Lutz, nice screen around Livingston, and Rogers is going to hit her with a foul, got her with the body. And Rogers not agreeing with that. Looks over to coach like, what? But Skyley will go to the line. That's what Skyley's been her bread and butter all year, is driving to that bucket. And as we mentioned earlier, she can twist and turn and everything, and she puts it up, and it's either going to go in or you're going to send her to the line shooting two. And that's why she's leading the team in attempts at the free throw line. And she sinks her first one. Here comes Lutz getting ready for her second one to make it a 7-point lead, and it's in and out, no good. Slagle comes up with it, and we're going the other way. Maddie Ward brings it past the timeline. Check that. Yep, that is Maddie Ward, 31. So Rogers out with a breather, so Rissmiller is going to get a little break, but stolen away by Lutz. She's got Claywell on the right. Claywell all alone. Should be an easy layup for Mariah, and she nails it. 25-17, great bucket by the junior. Junior to junior, that's something we're going to miss next year because historically it's been Lutz and Claywell, the tandem, the dynamic duo. Matinich, she's going to take one from the free throw line, in and out, no good. Great rebound by Andrea Sanders, who's checked in. Here comes Lutz, up to Rissmiller. Rissmiller looks inside to Livingston, back to Lutz. Claywell now. Boy, Emily's going to get busy down there. As Lutz is going to take a deep MB3, no good. And that's okay, she's got the finesse to do that. Skyley's like, quickly, my fault, as Carpenter checks in, and Skyley comes to the bench for a rest. Again, as we mentioned, Carpenter's very, very close to the single season assist record. Boy, a lot of balance. You'd think you'd be watching a boys game with how quickly and how everybody's running. Here comes Claywell, another rebound. Boy, she's going to have 10 before the half's up. And Livingston, nice block by number 43, Schlegel, behind on Livingston. I don't think Emily saw her. They're going to call a jump ball. The possession will go to the Lady Indians. So Emily had underneath good, but I don't think she saw Schlegel there, and she got a hand on it, was able to block Emily's shot. As Carpenter's going to bring it in, looking for Livingston. Claywell, nice pick by Livingston. Claywell, that's the play we love. We've seen that time and time again. Livingston will set a pick, Mariah will go around it, and then they'll peel off by Livingston. The easy two, boy, that's all day. 27-17, the biggest lead the Union City's been able to surpass when we're under 20 seconds in this first half. I would imagine Hagerstown, Coach Oliger's probably going to have them take the last shot. So what a first half this has been. Ooh, Rissmiller got lucky. She got a smile on her face. She had a feeling she's even surprised she didn't get the whistle. And just like that, what a great leap and leaner there by number 31, Maddie Ward. And that's going to end the first half as they both go to the locker room where Hagerstown's behind 19 to Union City's 27. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching Lady Indians basketball on KISS TV. We'll be back.
And to observe all social distancing rules and mask up. I'd also like to thank the financial support of our corporate sponsors, Tree Hill Farms, Hydrojet Signs, Fabricating and Glass Components, Citizen State Bank, Eco Vehicle Systems, Midwest Bankers Mortgage Services, Cardinal Ethanol, K.I.S.S Consulting Group, Frank Miller Lumber, Best Way of Indiana, and Wiley Well Drilling. If you or your organization would like to participate in supporting over 200 student athletes, please contact Mr. Thornburg or inquire in the high school office.
Meet Tommy. Tommy's not sure which sport he will play in high school someday. But no matter what he ends up choosing, playing sports in high school will help pave the way to a happier, healthier life. All Tommy needs to do is make up his mind. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. Pure launching pad for life.
For just 2% of a typical school's budget, high school sports give us plenty of energy and excitement. For just 2%, they also give us young people whose leadership and commitment to excellence will pay big dividends in our community for years to come. 2%. That's one investment we can all feel good about. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure launching pad for life.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Paul Neidig.
I'm Brendan King, pinch hitting for Coach Bob Lovell, as this is our weekly conversation about all things IHSAA related with the Commissioner himself, Paul Neidig. Paul, we've heard so much about what March Madness is going to bring both at the IHSAA and NCAA level this spring, but we've got ourselves, Paul, a massive month of February, too, after we just had the girls' basketball pairing show completed, and sectionals on the way beginning next Tuesday the 2nd.
That's right. You know, you talk about Hoosier hysteria. It's here, and we're going to have an incredible run of basketball in this great state. Coach, and he did a great job. We worked on our drawing show last week and got the pairings out to our member schools. And, it's always such an important time of the year. It kind of refreshes the teams, gives them an opportunity to look at who their opponents are and start making those plans for a tournament run. And, I always say there's two seasons at the IHSAA or in our tournament that you start out undefeated, and that's at the beginning of the season, and that's out at the sectional level. And hopefully you've gotten better throughout the year, and, that sectional comes, nobody's lost. Everybody's in the tournament with a dream to win a state championship. So it's going to be a great time.
Paul, as we heard from Greg Rakestraw, Coach Lovell on the pairing show, some big matchups are on the way. To recap last year's champs, Lawrence North out of 4A, they're in Sectional 10. They'll get the winner of Cathedral and Warren Central. Northwood in 3A Sectional 20. They'll be taking on Wawasee. Linton Stockton in 2A Sectional 47, battling Mitchell. And Lagodi in Class A, they'll host Shoals in Sectional 63. Those are your champs, Paul, but all across the board, some massive matchups are on the way.
They are. And that's, I think there's some parity out there in this year's tournament for the girls. Certainly we have schools that are sitting there thinking we're going to repeat, but I know there are many others out there with their eye on that piece of walnut that they hang on the wall in the school known as the state championship trophy. So I think there is some parity in the girls tournament, and you never know who's going to peak at the right moment and make that great run, and that's what's exciting about Indiana basketball.
It's crazy, Paul, because it feels just like we were just wrapping up Danville and Cathedral in the final day of the football state finals, but now we're heading into the girls tournament in February, boys in March. This would not only be a huge accomplishment for everybody in the state, Paul, to get this done, but maybe also a sense of normalcy just to complete everything.
I think that's exactly right. Our folks have worked diligently to get to this point in the season, and, we're here because of their hard work. And, normal is what we're looking for. I just told somebody a little bit ago, we'll be talking about these times in a short time. There's a glimmer of hope out there. We see the vaccine coming, and positivity rates are going to start to come down. And that glimmer of hope is going to allow us hopefully to put two words in front of our COVID time here, and that's going to be remember when. And, we're going to get there sooner than later, but celebrating state championships does provide normalcy. It's what we do in Indiana. It's what our high school athletic association does, and I think we do it well, and we're going to do it again here in a couple of weeks.
Paul, how proud have you been of the level of commitment, not only from players and coaches, parents, everybody involved to get this done?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I knew back in July, if we got our school people a chance to get back with their student athletes, they would get it done, and they've proven that. I tell people all the time, I'm grateful that I'm in Indiana. People here are just special. They're incredible. They've worked hard, and the school people, that's everybody. That's a team effort, from the person that serves the meal in the cafeteria to the person who drives the bus, the teachers, the school administrators, the parents who have had to forego family events to keep their student athletes safe so they can continue to play, local health departments, and obviously the team here in Indiana with the governor's office, Katie Jenner, and the Department of Education, and Dr. Box and the health department have all been on the same page throughout this process, and we're here because of a team effort. And again, that's what Indiana does. That's what Indiana is about, and we certainly play basketball as a team here.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and Coach Bob Lovell. And thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Sportsmanship doesn't happen just on the court or on the field or on the mat. It doesn't happen only in the pool or on the green or the track. It also happens in the stands, on the sidelines, on the web, and at home. That's because sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. We remind you to practice good sportsmanship at all high school sporting events. Treat athletes and officials with respect during competition and especially in social media. And support your team's coaching staff. Remember, sportsmanship has a face. Yours. A message from your high school and the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
The athletic department wished to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of Union City Athletics. 3M Excavating, Botkin Trophies and Laser Engraving, the City of Union City, join the movement. Best Way Disposal, Cardinal Ethanol, Citizen State Bank, Double Z Home Improvement, Eco Vehicle Systems, Equus Consulting Group, Frank Miller Lumber Company, Hydrojet Signs Fabricating and Glass Components, Midwest Bankers Home Loan Expert, Derek Huntwork, Tree Hill Farms, real food made simple, Wiley Well Drilling, Woodcrest Lanes, the Smoke and Pin Barbecue, Didier Do-It-Best Home and Hardware, Kearns Brothers, the Union City Lions Club, Packasack, RL Painting and Manufacturing, Shuckney Electric Heating and Cooling. Now we take you to Union City Gymnasium courtside for tonight's broadcast.
As Union City finds themselves up by 8 points, and this is it. 2 more quarters, and that will end the ladies' regular season basketball on the floor here. And then, of course, they're going to start the tournament play next week. As we can see some of the varsity boys, there's Cantu and Velasquez. Of course, we got a boys game after this, a triple header. It's the second time we've done a Tri-Eastern Conference triple header. Of course, the first time we did it with Tri. And speaking of Tri, that's where Sectional 56 is going to take place for the ladies. Next Tuesday on the 2nd, they drew Blue River in the first game, and Tri and Union will play the second game, and Randolph Southern and Lincoln await both of those teams respectively on Friday night and the championship on Saturday night. But we got another half to play here. As Hagerstown's going to open up, Rogers with the ball, quickly picked up by Rissmiller. And here we go. We've mentioned the first half, Judy Carpenter is dangerously close to breaking Cantu's single season assist record. And nice defense by Livingston, get her hands in. And, Claywell tried to get it, Lutz didn't see it, so Claywell, that's a charge. Great job. What a play by Mariah Claywell to step in front of that. That was an easy call. It's number 13, Michaela Matinich, right into, initiated the contact, put the shoulder in. I don't think you can complain with that if you're Coach Oliger. That was an easy call. She initiated the contact, sent Claywell to the ground. Hats off to Claywell getting there in time. So this is anybody's game, so both these teams are very competitive with each other. Lutz, nice bounce pass into Livingston. She spins around, little push by number 55, Klein. No call. Claywell ends up with it again, spins around, no good. Well, I tell you what, that's the second time number 51, Oliger, has spun her elbows around to try to clear out. And I'm not saying anything's getting chippy, but we got to keep an eye on that because the second time down in the first half, she grabbed the ball and threw some elbows. So hopefully we can calm down here. I don't call this a rivalry. It is a conference game, but I'm sure both these teams want to win, obviously. We want to keep it clean and fun, guys. I don't mind the competitiveness, but you don't want to catch anybody with an elbow. That's no sense in that. Not saying that it was intentional, ladies and gentlemen, but from my standpoint, she was making sure she was clearing out. Lutz with a steal. Here comes the Lady Indians the other way. Has Carpenter. Lutz going to take it on her own all the way up and in. Skyley right past the Hagerstown Tigers in for the 2-bucket, and it's a 10-point lead. So Rogers with the ball. Here comes Claywell. Claywell's habitually picking up the inbounds backcourt play all season long. Lutz. Nice defense by Lutz. Here's Rogers now. We've talked about that. Rissmiller quickly pops out on her. So Rissmiller's job as a defensive specialist is to shadow Rogers wherever she goes. Rissmiller's not even looking at the ball. She's staying in front of Rogers between her and the players. So good defense, and that's something Coach Black's done all year. As nice bucket by number 31, Maddie Ward. Here's Rissmiller now. Over to Claywell, who's going down the lane, and it goes in. Back to a 10-point lead, 31-21. 5:51 to go in this third quarter. Livingston lucky she didn't get picked with a cheap foul there, and Rogers, right between the legs of number 13, Michaela Matnick. Looks like Rogers is looking, looks like there's some frustration on the young lady's face, and I can understand because she's not getting any kind of break. They're doing the best they can to play as tight defense as they can. That can be frustrating to a player, and that can cause the game to be different. So we'll see as Carpenter has the ball now. And we're just waiting at any time when she starts dealing out a few more assists, and I'm sure they'll announce it in the PA. We mentioned in the first half, we don't know as Rissmiller is going to take a 2 just inside the 3. No good. And here comes Rogers the other way. Great rebound by Hallie Rogers. As we mentioned, there's a question whether 2, 3, or 4 assists are needed, and I think Carpenter might be sitting on 2 already. So I'd like to see that lady end her regular season as Carpenter's going to pick up a foul on the arm. She fouled number 13, Matnich. And Hallie Rogers will take the ball out. And Sanders comes off the bench for Carpenter. Carpenter a little frustrated. Coach Black has a word for her. I'm sure that's a breather, and they're all rooting for Jody, that's for sure. Everybody knows she's close. Here's Rogers. She's going to take a 3 from the left side. Claywell didn't get out there in time, but she didn't get it. Nice board by Livingston. Here we go the other way. Lutz to Claywell. Back to Livingston. What a pass. Livingston's going to take a brief shot. Front of the rim, no good. Livingston missed from about 8 feet. Those are the kind of little bunnies that if Union City could tighten that up, they could have won a lot more ball games because we had a lot of players all season long have frustrations with those easy shots just would not fall. Looking inside, nice pass inside to Klein. Back out to number 31, Ward. Ward nails it. 4:25, 31-23. Here's Lutz to Sanders. Sanders will take that one. No good. Claywell tries to get the rebound just out of her hands. Going back the other way. Ward. Klein. Well, back out to Matnich. Inside to Ward. Spin move. Tries to get Livingston off her hip, but good job by Grace Klein by doing a little spin maneuver and get one way and going the other and gets a 2-point bucket against Livingston. So that's been an interesting battle the first half. I think Livingston gets the advantage on that, but Klein's starting to heat up as well. If she's going to score buckets like that against Livingston, you might get her in foul trouble. Let's see. Here's Rissmiller to Lutz. Lutz at the top of the key. Claywell's asking for the ball. Posting up Ward. Now they get inside to Mariah. Kick back out to Rissmiller. She's going to take a three from the left side. No good. Livingston's right in there. Who's going to get the rebound? And nice hustle by Hallie Rogers. And she ends up with it, and we're going the other way. Maddie Ward with the ball past the timeline. Again, Union City playing a little bit of a zone, but Rissmiller's just following, shadowing Rogers. Nice inside pass to Ward. She does that little spin move again. Mariah tries to get a hand on it, and I think she did. Livingston ends up with the ball, and Livingston herself gets a little hip bump to get to clear the defender. Rissmiller wisely pulls out. Frustrated, looks like she had an open pass to Livingston. Sanders going to take it around, blocked from behind. Great block by number 51, Oliger. And we're going back the other way. Bounce pass. Sanders off of her feet, bounced into Klein now. No good. Claywell with the board, going back the other way. Claywell, we've talked all season how phenomenal she's been on the glass on both the offensive and defensive side. Defensive rebounds, Union City sitting at 22.4 a game, Hagerstown at 19.8 a game. Offensive rebounds, the edge goes to Hagerstown, 14.6 to Union City's 11.7. As Rissmiller is going to take another shot to two, no good. She had her foot on the line. So that's what I mean. The Indians can try to take shots, and if they're not going to get in on the rebounds, that's what we mentioned earlier in the first half. They slowly have let these teams, some teams all season, get back into this game. And Union City's lost a few heartbreakers towards the end. So I'm sure Union City's playing with a special urgency as Rogers is going to take a three, and what a shot by Hallie Rogers. Top of the key, and it's a three-point game, and Coach Black said she's had enough. So what was once 10 is now 3. So Hagerstown's been able to dig back into this game and make it a three-point ball game at the 1:47 mark of the third quarter. So cool the troops down, but you got to keep an eye on Rogers. Just couldn't get out there in time, could Rissmiller, and she nailed it from the top of the key. And they're not going to come easy for the Hagerstown Tigers, but she's managed to bring her team within 3. And Union City's we talking about when it comes to the Tri-Eastern Conference. You know, pretty good rebounds per game total, 34.4 for Hagerstown, 34.1. This is all Max Prep stats. So pretty even all the way around. Assists per game, Union City does get the edge. Of course, you got Carpenter. They're at 15.2 a game to 7 assists a game for Hagerstown, 8.6 steals per game, 8.6, that's the same, so that's a wash. And turnovers, the Indians have committed 18.4 per game and 15.3. So those are the team stats, if you will. So pretty evenly matched up teams. Hagerstown, I think they're averaging, let me see if I have that information. Union City, of course, averaging 61.5 a game. And yeah, Hagerstown, well, I tell you what, this is odd that Union City's 61.5 and Hagerstown's at 37.3. So that kind of surprising, but of course, Hallie Rogers, the senior, 14.5 a game, and she's their major scorer and the major concern for the Indians. So Rissmiller's done a great job so far on Rogers, but Rogers just sunk that last 3 to bring it within 3. As Lutz brings it past half court. All 5 starters are in for the Indians right now. Claywell from Lutz. Back to Rissmiller. Carpenter now gives it to Lutz. A little bit of razzle-dazzle by the Indians, movement back and forth, passing and run around. As Livingston's high on the post. Claywell, nice drive inside. She nails it. So Mariah Claywell, we talked about how deep this bench is. And all season long, we talked about the opposing coaches and what kind of a headache is when you prepare for these Lady Indians, because you really don't know who you can shut down with that balanced scoring of the dynamic triple players. Dynamic triple, I did that again. Mariah Claywell, Emily Livingston, Lutz. When you have to deal with that, that's got to be a headache to all the coaches around. Boy, Rogers, nice play in there by Carpenter. Got a little hand on it and quickly drew her hand back to not get called a foul. Carpenter now, she's going to take an open 3, and she nails it. So a 3 for the senior, and just like that, as we're under 35 seconds, 36-28. This has been a fast-paced quarter here. No whistles hardly. 2 fouls, 2 team fouls to the Indians, and 1 to Hagerstown. So they've been letting them play. Oh, nice pass inside to number 13, Michaela Metnich. Here's Lutz now. I imagine you're going to try for the last shot. It's a 6-point lead. Lutz looking to Coach Black for the play. She'll back it out. They'll set up. Okay, Emily tells her how much. Livingston, you got to take that shot. Nope, they're going to run out of time, and they get it off in time, but boy, that's not what you want to have if you're Coach Black. They didn't have a good enough play set up, and they shot it at the very last, and it wasn't a really good shot, and at the end of 3, Union City's only up by 6. It's been back and forth, and this is anybody's ball game, so we'll see who wants it in this last 8 minutes of the game. The last 8 minutes for Jody Carpenter as an Indian on the regular floor of Union City. The last quarter for Skyly Lutz, the phenomenal junior all year that's led the team in scoring. Got to be bittersweet. So one thing we haven't seen is Jody Carpenter. I don't know where she's sitting on the assists, but she's got another full quarter to try to break that record. If not, Justice Cantu will retain. But hats off to Carpenter. She's gotten that last night's record, 17 assists in one game. And if you were watching the game last night, she could have had probably 20 or more than that, because there was a lot of bad handling of the passes of the Lady Indians to these Carpenter passes. So that's the frustration, Jody. We've talked about it all year, about how good she can pass and no looks and the bounce passes, and sometimes they're just a little too much for these Lady Indians. So Elliott's going to bring the ball up. She's checked in. We have Elliott, Claywell, Rissmiller, Carpenter, and Lutz to start this fourth quarter. I imagine Livingston will get a small breather, but they're going to need her back in down the stretch with only a 6-point lead. Dish inside to Lutz. Excuse me, Claywell. Claywell gets her pocket picked by Rogers. Come back the other way. Carpenter's trying to get there, and she fouled her, but no call. Wow. Rogers goes down hard, and she's favoring a knee, and she gets back up slowly, and she's limping. Keep an eye on that. I hope she's okay, but she's not even up. She's down. They're going to have to blow a whistle here. As that goes around, there's a play stopping the play, and Rogers is limping favorably on that left knee. And she looks like she's in a lot of discomfort. She tried to get back up, and she went immediately back down. So she took a hard hit from Claywell, or excuse me, checked that Carpenter, as Carpenter was trying to run her from behind, because Rogers had a great steal and an easy layup, but Carpenter got there in time, and I thought they were going to call a foul on Jody, and there was no whistle. And Rogers went hard to the deck. So let's hopefully that young lady's okay. We got, again, everybody's got postseason tournament. You want everybody to be in tip-top shape before they enter that sectional. So the trainer's taking a look at it as we have a break in the action. I tell you what, man, this has been tiring calling, ladies and gentlemen, because this has just been back and forth. It's going to be a matter in the last few minutes who wants it more. Best thing Union City can do is continue to try to build on this lead, because I have a feeling if Hagerstown comes within time or taking the lead, there's going to be a big momentum shift. And as we've seen, Union City's blown some leads late, and it looks like Rogers, they're going to take her to the locker room, and that could be key at the 7:35 mark. So hopefully that young lady can come back out and participate in the rest of this game. But I guess in a roundabout way, you could say a big break for the Indians. Now they don't have the best scorer on the floor. So let's see what Coach Oliger has lined up in the absence of Rogers, as Union City decides to do a little bit more press, and they're going man-to-man. Nice steal by Claywell. What a theft. Up and in. Just like that. That's what you need if you're the Indians. Back up to an 8-point lead. And great defense. Yep, Hagerstown, boy, they just missed a pass there, and Oliger decides he wants a timeout. He's even coming into the half court, onto the court, and he wants a full timeout. So 4 quick buckets coming out of this timeout by the Indians. It's 38-30. Union City well underneath their season average of 61.5, so you got to give credit to the Hagerstown ladies playing some pretty good defense with these offensive threats of Union City. And don't stay tuned. This isn't over yet. So after this game, we're going to have the in-between break, and it's the Union City Indian boys team and the Hagerstown Tigers team going to take the floor in the third game. So great night for football. Basketball. Great night for football too. Super Bowl in a couple. We'll call it that. I don't know. Great night for basketball, what I'm trying to say. Oh, I need some sleep. All right, so just announced Mr. Thornburg, the AD, gave me this in the first half. The boys varsity at Blue River, scheduled for tomorrow night, has been moved up to 6 p.m. due to the weather forecast. Looking at the radar, we have some impending weather coming in, and I'm hearing anything from 6 to 8 inches. We'll see, but that's a lot of snow on the ground, so that's what they have to do to get this game in. They're going to move it up to 6 o'clock. Katie Elliott's going to take the ball out to Skyly Lutz. 7-17. Rogers is back in. That's good to see that young lady, so I guess she's okay. So we'll see how she can do on that left knee. That's what she was favoring. And if you're the Indians, I'd work that knee and see how good it is. Claywell back to Lutz, guarded by Rogers. Claywell dribbles it back out. Lutz looking for a pick from Claywell. Rissmiller from Carpenter, back out to Lutz. Mariah's trying to post up down there on number 31, Maddie Ward. Her and Elliott are back up. Now Katie screens down baseline. Here's Carpenter. She dribbles inside, tries to get Lutz. Great bounce pass from Carpenter. What a beautiful pass, and Lutz could not convert. Right between two players. Matnich. Here's Ward now. Looking inside, stolen away right in the hands of Katie Elliott. Here comes Lutz the other way. Claywell quickly down there, but Lutz is going to take it all the way. She's fouled, and it goes in. Vintage Lutz right there. She's going to the line to look for a three-point play. Really nothing you can do. She's so quick on that move to the bucket, and you got to foul her. And many times Skyly's been able to convert. So she's going to go to the line and look to extend back to an 11-point lead. That's just the way this in. Hagerstown gets close enough to smell it, and then the Indians lays another 5 or 6 points on them and gets back up there. The main thing is we hopefully the senior Carpenter can get a few more assists to get that record as Lutz converts on a three-point play. 41-31, Union City's largest lead of the game. Good to see Rogers back on the court. She was injured just a minute ago, went in the locker room, she came right back out. They know how important she is to this Hagerstown team if they want to win this game. What a beautiful bounce pass back from into Klein, then Klein gets it into number 31, Ward. Great transition offense there by the Hagerstown Tigers. As she'll go to the line, they're going to call that one on Skyly Lutz. That'll be the second for the junior. As Ward will go to the line. And she sinks the first one. Rissmiller over here talking to Coach Black. I'm sure getting directions on how to handle Rogers here on the defensive assignment. And she nails it. Here comes the other way is Lutz. Carpenter. Boy, Claywell's asking for the ball down low. She getting her hip in to number 31, Ward. Carpenter. Oh, gets a hand on it, does. So that's the one thing the Union City's done this season is they've been a little light on the passes and they're getting hands on them as the defenders. As Claywell goes inside, she's down deep, back out to Carpenter. Carpenter's going to take a three from the right side, and she nails it. Three-point bucket by the senior. If it's not assist, she's going to help out the team around the perimeter as she extends it up to a 12-point lead, the biggest the Union City's had of the evening. Oh, stolen away by Claywell. What a bucket. Easy layup. Boy, that's got to be a backbreaker if you're Hagerstown. 14-point lead. 5:13 left to go. And she got picked up, slammed the ball down. Could have been a T there. Number 31, Ward, frustrated. And I believe Oliger's seen enough. He wants a 30-second timeout. So just like that, these Indians, boom, boom, boom. And it's up to a 14-point lead, and they're looking to add more because they'll bring the ball in after this timeout. So even Rogers, we thought that'd be when the team might make some errors, but Rogers back on the court. But Hagerstown, last couple, 3 times up and down the court, they've made some mental errors, and the Indians have been able to extend it to a 14-point lead. But nothing to be comfortable yet because, as we said earlier, Union City has had a habit of letting these teams creep back in when they got a double-digit lead. So looking at Skyly down there, she's got to be tired. She's done so much driving to the lane this game. And that's been a key to a lot of the point spread is because Skyly goes down there in between defenders, and she gets up there, and she's been fouled, so those 2 points that Skyly gets and turned into 3 points because she's nailing her free throws. So it's just like hitting a three anyway. And here we go, 5-10. Rogers, boy, she's quick on Lutz. You got to watch it. She's playing awful. I'm waiting. Rogers might be picking up a foul. Skyly tries to go, and this time she's blocked. And Skyly comes up gingerly on an ankle, and she gets up. She's coming to the bench, and she's not even trying to defend. So right now she's going to come out or something because, nope, she's still in. She came up limping a little bit on the ankle, and I think Coach Black's trying to look at the bench. Quickly, Elliott comes up, and we'll see if we need ice on that or something. The trainer gets ready to attend to Lutz. That's definitely what you don't want to see getting ready to go into this sectional Tuesday night, is seeing your main scorer hobbling on an ankle right now. Elliott checks in. So Schlegel will be at the line. She'll shoot 2. First one's in. And let's see what, looking down there at Lutz, trainer's checking out that left ankle down there. Got a little bit of a smile on her face. I don't see any wincing of pain or anything. Maybe it was a little twist. Okay, check that. She's taking out a right knee. We thought it was an ankle. Trainer's working on Lutz's right knee down there on the bench. And Skylie got a big smile on her face, so I'm sure she's a competitor. She wants to get back into this game, and if you're Hagerstown, you got to take advantage of it when you got the leading scorer for the Indians. Here comes Claywell now on the bench. Claywell over to Rissmiller. So if you're Union City, work that clock. But I'd try to do everything I could to get Carpenter that record. But more importantly is the victory. Rissmiller. Oh, nice steal by Rogers. Picked the pocket. And Carpenter, nothing she could do but go by, so great bucket by Rogers. It's a 10-point lead. Rissmiller take the ball out into Livingston. Livingston over to Claywell. That's who's probably going to be your best ball handler on the court right now. Nothing taken away from Carpenter, but I think Mariah's got a little bit more ball handling capability, and it's good to see Skylar Lutz getting ready to check back in for Coach Black at the next whistle. And there's the bounce pass into Livingston. That one little step, she tries the skyhook, no good. Hits the front of the rim. We're going back the other way. Here we go, 4 minutes left to go. It's a 10-point game. We've mentioned this. The Indians cannot let this team back in. I think 13, Matinich just got away with a step, and they're going to call a foul there on the shot, so Hagerstown's going to go to the line again, Grace Klein. And Claywell picks up that foul. That's only her second foul, so that's the 5th Indians team foul, 2 to Hagerstown at the 3:53 mark, as Klein's going to take her first shot. No good. And let's get some words from Coach Black, and she's going to come in from Katie Elliott. So we'll take a look and see how that right knee is. Lutz has been running all night down the lane, so as we said, she's got to be tired. And she sinks it. And she'll come to the bench and be replaced by number 43, Marissa Slagle, 5'10 junior. And this is a critical point now to 3:53 mark. It's a 9-point game. Union City had it up to 14. Here, let's see. Now it's to Claywell. Let's see how stolen away. Claywell just tried to pass it to Lutz and stepping in front of it. Rogers couldn't handle on it. That's got to be frustrating. Let's get it back. So big break for the Indians as she sees Carpenter from Lutz, and what a pass. Skylie Lutz assists Carpenter. She's not having a good assist night, but Carpenter's doing it from the floor and hitting the field goals. 48-37. And here's a deep one by Rogers. No good. This hits the top of the backboard. So Hallie understands she's got to do something, get some offense at Hagerstown to get back into this game, so she's doing everything she can from the perimeter. Here's Lutz. Guarded by Rogers. Boy, Lutz got her pocket picked again. And they're going to call a foul on number 13, Michaela Matinich. That might be a little bit of a chippy foul, but the ref's going to say she got her on the arm. So a good break for the Indians, but that's only Rogers' third. Check that. It's only Matinich's third. So nobody's in really any kind of foul trouble. It's Claywell. Boy, good pressure by Hagerstown. Past the half court line is Carpenter. Lutz. Boy, looking to pass it before she got it. Those are the little mental errors that can bring this Hagerstown team back into it. Oh, they had Livingston open, but it looks like Coach Black's going to let him run around and try to work some clock off. Here's a pass from Carpenter to Livingston. Oh, what a blown. Livingston's going to get a chance. She got her own rebound back up. She's going to complete a 3-point play, but Carpenter is doing everything she can to get that assist, and what a beautiful pass, and Emily just couldn't convert on that first shot. But regardless, they hit it, and Emily's going to try to complete a 3-point play. As Klein quickly comes off the bench for Coach Oliger, and she'll check in. Replaced by number 43, Schlegel, come to the bench. So back up to a 14-point lead. So Hagerstown knocks on the door, and they just can't get any closer than that. They get within 6, and the Indians with their firepower, boom, right back up to 14 as Rogers going to take a step back. And she's doing everything she can. That's an NBA 3, but it's no good. Boy, the clock's not your friend now if you're Hagerstown. And she goes to the floor, and Klein ends up with it. And she hits a nice bucket from about 8 feet. So here comes Rissmiller. Boy, Hagerstown, they're doing everything they can to try to disrupt this offense coming down the floor for the Indians. So these ladies got to be tired. Here's Carpenter. Oh, she had Livingston, and they're going to call a jump ball. And that's one thing that can happen to young Carpenter. She can get frustrated, and then she start making mental errors. She needs to keep her head into the game, young lady. It's okay. She's getting some encouragement from Coach Black. Here's a 3 from the right side. No good. Carpenter with a rebound. Here come the Indians. It's a 1-on-3. Carpenter goes right back. She's going to take it on herself. No. Klutz gets a rebound. Comes up. No good. Rebound by Klein. 1:59 left to go. 12-point game. Ward. Matinich now. Over to Ward. Ward steps on the line. Turnover Hagerstown. Costly turnover back the other way. So every little turnover, every little whistle is really important to Hagerstown because right now the clock is not on your side. So they got to play aggressive defense if they want to get back into this game. Here's Claywell now. She got to look up. She got the numbers. Boy, Rogers, great defense on Claywell. Rissmiller, back to Claywell. And there's a foul by Matinich, and they've got a few to give. That's their 15th foul. So it won't be a shooting situation yet, but that's what Hagerstown's going to do. You don't want to foul Lutz. But Union City, if they're going to be fouled, they got to win it from the charity stripe. Boy, nice steal by Rogers. Stolen back away by Claywell. Stolen back by number 31, Ward. Boy, steal there. Nice bounce pass in. No good. Rogers hauling for the ball. Nobody's on her. Here, Rissmiller finally pops out on her. Boy, that's a big break for the Indians because Rogers was wide open. Here's a deep 3. No good. Claywell with yet another rebound. We're going back the other way. Into Livingston to Lutz now. Carpenter. Lutz hits the ground. She pops back up. Actually helped up by the defender in the middle of the game. Livingston. I'll tell you what. Union City looks just a little discombobulated, if that's the word I want to use, down here on the offensive side.
First, second, team 6.
As Ward checks back in, Marissa Schlegel will come back to the bench. 1:08 left to go, a 12-point lead. Claywell dribbles it back out the other way, clear back out. And they're going to foul her, but are you kidding me? They're not calling a whistle on any of that? Lutz, finally they get her, and they're going to, it's before the shot, number 55, Grace Klein. Boy, Claywell was out here, they're mugged by the Hagerstown defenders, but there was no whistle. Boy, some of these ladies are going to be all bruised up in the morning. Lutz, again, it's kind of like her second home at the free throw line. And hits the front end, no good, but Claywell's right there. Kicks back out to Rissmiller. That's a heartbreaker if you're Hagerstown, going to run off more of the clock. And whoa, Lutz. Boy, Lutz tries to clear it away, and I have to say she caught the Hagerstown defender with an elbow. Lutz raised her hands up strongly, and I don't think Skyley did that intentionally. They're called 13 with the foul, but even Rogers looks at the refs like, wait a minute. So that was a pretty rough foul, but Lutz didn't get the whistle. So big break for the Indians there as Carpenter's going to go to the line, but boy, Michaela Matinich took one to the chin. And boy, they missed that one too. Claywell almost got the board on it. Here comes Hagerstown. We're under a minute. I think it's pretty much Union City's game. The bad thing about it is I don't think Carpenter's going to get that assist record in the regular season. And Klein's going to take a deep one. No good. Livingston's going to pull away. I'm going to tell you what, boy, all these players around, they're trying to fight for the rebound. You know, hats off to these Hagerstown girls. They are just trying to get everything they can. These are the kind of games that you remember for the next year and creates a rivalry. As Lutz quickly fouled by Rogers. Rogers realizes they need to stop this clock, and hopefully they can get the chance where Lutz will miss this. And how many is that for Hallie? That's her third. And Lutz will go to the line. Sanders and Elliott will check in for Livingston and Claywell. So the Indians looks like with 36 seconds and Lutz at the line, they're going to come away with the last victory of the season, but The bad thing about it is no indication that Jody Carpenter has been able to break the single-season assist record. Hagerstown's been a great job playing defense on these ladies, and Carpenter had a couple of her passes. Of course, as we said, they're just too good, and Union City couldn't get a handle on it. So tough break for Carpenter to get that record, but more importantly as a victory as we get ready to set up for sectionals. Carpenter, you're going to wisely use the clock. Rogers picks her pocket, going back the other way. Carpenter gives up. Oh, nice play by Lutz coming across. Looked like it was going to be a clean pass to Maddie Ward, but coming across was Carpenter got a hand, Lutz got a hand on it as Emily Evans checks in for Jody Carpenter. So Carpenter comes to the bench. Round of applause. Lutz comes to the bench as well, so their season is up now. Their next mission is going to be the sectional. But what a great career Carpenter and Skylar Lutz have for the Union City Indians. Here's a deep three. No good. Elliott, strong rebound. Going to let the clock go out now. 13 seconds as Peyton Dyke checked in. Back the other way. Here's Rogers. And back up, no good. Dye with it, 5 seconds. And they're just going to hold it. And that's going to be it. So the Union City ends their regular season as a Tri-Eastern Conference victory last night against Centerville and tonight against Hagerstown. Bad thing about it is poor Jody Carpenter, we didn't hear anything announced for the single season assist record, but she did get that game record. And Union City comes away with the victory, 52-39. It was the last game for Skylar Lutz as a junior and the last game for Jody Carpenter. So next for these ladies is the sectional Tuesday night, but stick around. We're going to take a break. We got the Indians boys coming up against the Hagerstown boys in what should be another good game. We'll be back.